Not a lot. Just enough to remind me why I don't watch it. Oh, this is already funny. Just the headline. The list of moves and actions that are now banned from AEW or need to be approved by the company.
Maybe that's why Nash is pissed off, because he went for Brock and Austin and not try to duplicate him.
Well, it'd be easier to duplicate him. You only have to learn 5 moves.
Like you said, and we've all been saying, Tony Khan, you need a hierarchy, and he gets one, and then we make fun of it.
Because he's sitting back there talking about the Brock match, and it's finally we had a wrestling match. Finally, we got 2 guys telling a story. They weren't outside in the ring the whole time. One of them
was he not watching the same match as we were?
Yeah, those games, man. I would say, like, for me, like the best ones, I would say, are like the ones where they try to get a certain like time.
This is my entire IT team right here on screen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Wrestlechat with Vince McMahon. Let's get ready to rumble. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Nation Network, and this is Wrestlechat. I'm Vince McMahon, and welcome back. If you've been here before, and if you've not, welcome to the channel. Please hit the sub button, because we do this kind of crazy stuff all the time. All right. Story a few days ago, I was going to talk about it, and then I'm like, why waste my breath? And now you just got to go there, don't you? So we're going to talk about it. In case there's somebody out there that's not aware, and it's not like big news, but it would be hard to miss it if you're a wrestling fan kind of news. And that news, very simply, is that Ava, the otherwise known as Simone Johnson, daughter of Dwayne Johnson, decided she don't want to play no more. And as of last Tuesday's NXT, she's no longer working for the WWE because she doesn't want to do it anymore. I think that's everybody's shared reaction right there in a nutshell. The least talented Nepo baby in the history of professional wrestling doesn't want to do it anymore. That ain't the story anymore. Okay? The fact that she only had a job because of her dad. That's it. Her last name and her biological ties to her dad. That's it. They tried putting her, by the way, they tried putting her in a ring on TV 6 times. They never would have put anyone with that level of talent anywhere near a TV camera, much less even in the training facility, if she wasn't the daughter of one of the all-time greats. And a board member, let's mention that. She never would have had any of those opportunities. Certainly would never have been, okay, you absolutely suck as a wrestler, we'll make you a GM. Not would have happened. Not a chance in hell would that have happened for anybody else. Jage in the house. Yeah. So, and I don't even know who her girlfriend was, another wrestler on NXT that didn't do so well either. And I don't even remember her name. That's how irrelevant she is. She gets fired, and that's allegedly the reason why Simone decided she's going to leave. True entitled bullshit. Absolute entitled bullshit. But, as I said, there's more to the story now, and that's why I decided that where I wasn't even going to give this the time of day, we're going to talk about it a little bit. The fine folks at TMZ doing what they always do best.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
It's okay. It's okay. It's a relative PG show. Maybe not. Let's see. Where are we at here? Miss Simone, according to TMZ, and then she posted this on Twitter. So now I can say this with my full chest. Fuck ICE and the entire administration. Oh, you poor dear. You've had to keep that in all this time? Really? I find it hard to believe that you're able to, because you can't get those gummy fucking lips over your teeth. I swear, she looks like a 2K20 creation with the yapper just hanging out of her mouth all the time. All that money, why don't you go get yourself some surgery done where you can actually close that mouth? Because it's one thing to be a blithering fucking idiot, and it's another thing to open your mouth and remove any doubt. And that's exactly what she did. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, that's like an official WWE account, even though you're no longer part of the company. I said, well, I think I should respond to her. Oops. You can't. I guess the WWE swept her away like pretty much what you do with garbage after a show. You sweep it away, throw it out. So Miss Ava is no longer a member of the team. This comes after Ava announced Friday she would not be renewing her contract, and nobody cared. By the way, she said this with her full chest, backed up by that full ass. Get to the gym. I know you're never going to be an in-ring performer, but, try and have a little bit of pride in your look. Keep on throwing the tattoos, and maybe you get a few more fucking things stuck in your nose, okay? Like, that wouldn't have told us whose side you were voting for and all that. Which, again, I don't give a shit. You were just a talentless bitch from day one. That's why I had nothing to do with you. Ava hasn't made any concrete plans known for what she has in store for the future. Ooh, I got an idea. But we can be sure it won't have anything to do with the GOP. Actually, don't be so sure, because a couple of years ago, who'd have thought Nicki Minaj would be on the team, right? And lots of other people have been jumping on board as well. Anything else here? This is going to be a short one. I just had to get this off my chest. The 5'10 wrestler made her official in-ring debut on April 1st, 2023. It would have to be April 1st, because she's a fucking joke. And by the way, please don't refer to her as a wrestler, because she had 6 matches that all sucked. At best, she was a D-list actress. That's it. And when we want to know what she's going to be doing in the future, I can tell you it won't be acting, because she can't do that either. And she certainly ain't got a leading lady look about her. I don't care who her daddy is. Hollywood ain't that big and over. And by the way, his movies lately have been box office bombs, Black Adam. So he doesn't even have the pull anymore in Hollywood that he had. Just saying. You have a better chance of finding a heterosexual male in San Francisco than you do finding a good Ava match. It's just not going to happen. All right. That is the story. That is the news, if you want to call it news. It's not really news anymore because she quit like 4 days ago, 5 days ago, didn't renew her contract. But this comment that she made, that was very recent. And yeah, it set me off, and I just wanted to vent. I wanted to get it out with my full chest, okay? What a fucking stupid. It wasn't even bad enough what she said, okay? If she'd have just said fuck ICE and fuck this administration, whatever, big shocker. With my full chest. It's the ass you better look at, okay? Yeah, it's the ass you want to take a look at. I put her right up there with Mick Foley. By the way, Mick Foley lost 100 pounds. Congratulations.
A major.
Congratulations. And Ava found it. J-Rock's in the house. What's up, buddy? An OnlyFans page, she'd have to start too. She couldn't fit on just one. I was gonna, I'm talking behind her back technically, and I'd say it to her face, but my car only has a half a tank of gas. You know what I'm saying? She gets on the scale in the store that talks to you, and it just says, hey, one at a time. JH, I'm here for the comedy relief sometimes, too. Dustin the Grim in the house. You know there are plenty of people in the WWF who are chomping at the bit to go off about politics. Oh, God, yeah. I know one. The voice of the voiceless has no voice. And even then, he still finds a way. I saw him with AJ, and I could have really enjoyed this. But he had to do it. He just has to find a way. They were having that hot wing contest. If you've seen this thing where it's a head-to-head and you have questions that you have to ask the other person, and if they don't answer, they either answer honestly or they have to eat a wing or there's a challenge or whatever the case may be. But these wings get progressively hotter, and they are just disastrously bad. Anyway, it's him versus AJ Lee, husband-wife. And it had so many moments that were just really nice, okay? Despite what I think of him and his politics, and I know hers have got to be the same, they genuinely seem like a very happy couple. And I have nothing against that. I'm happy for them. But then there was a moment where the question I think she had to ask him, and these are pre-written by other people. It wasn't like she wrote the question. She just reads it to him. And the question she asked him had something to do with, and she said, I know you're not, or maybe it was him asking her. Either way, I think it was him asking her. It was. Saying, I'm going to have to almost rewrite this question. But anyway, they basically want to know about who would be on your Mount Rushmore for women. And then he had to go into the politics of Mount Rushmore, how it was stolen from the Native Americans and the Sioux tribe, and the white man had to put white people up on the mountain. And I'm like, Bob Fangul, just read a fucking question in a game. Why did you have to go? It's like everything. White man, white man, white man. Did you get a mirror? Do you have any mirrors where you live? Hell, she barely passes for Spanish, and she is. You are as white as mayonnaise, buddy. Elmer's glue looks up to you and says, damn, you're white. And you're going to talk about how evil the white man is. It's the country's history. It isn't all perfect. It isn't all pretty. It is our country's history. We should be proud of it because of where we are today, although today maybe not the best measuring stick based on loose nuts like you and Ava. Jay, you just saw that one yesterday, so you know what I'm talking about then. And this is the kind of bullshit. So, yeah, it's a lot of them right now are just biting their tongues on a daily. Good. Good for you. We don't want to hear you. And by the time you're able to talk, you won't be talking anymore because, like Nicki Minaj, you might have actually woke up by then. All those nice folks in New York right now that are enjoying their communist, you know, the one who was going to give you everything for free, but now everything costs more money and nothing is free, that guy, that now they're standing outside of his mansion yelling at him, we trusted you, we voted for you, you fucking idiots. Those people. You see, the reason people like Ava and Punk can say the shit they say is they don't live in our world. They never will. They've got plenty of money. If Ava never takes another job again, between her money and Dad's money, she's going to be fine. I'm sure Dad takes care of her. She ain't going to get by on her looks, so she better have some other plan. And the more she puts on makeup, the worse she looks. She looks more and more like that dude in AAA that's supposed to pass off as a female. By the way, the funniest, I can't remember his name right now. The funniest damn thing I've read in forever. Somebody put a picture of that dude up, the AAA Mexican wrestler who's a dude all dressed up as a woman with the big red hair and the really gaudy makeup and all that. They posted the picture of him and said, they should have had him enter the Women's Rumble and made the Saudis explode. Oh, my God. That was genius. And yeah, should have done it. Sami Zayn is another one. Yeah, and there's a lot of them out there. You know, like I said, Mick Foley. Oh, I don't even want to be associated with the company anymore. Fuck you. Dude, you're a stuntman. That's all you've ever been is a glorified stuntman. You're not a wrestler. You're a fat sack of shit that takes bad bumps. That's it. That's all you're known for. Somebody, please, somebody, name the classic wrestling match featuring Mick Foley. I'll wait. You can't because he doesn't have any. Somebody say, remember the match that Mick Foley had? Then they'll talk about getting thrown off the top of a cage. Doesn't take anyone to do that. Anyone could fall through a fucking table and almost die. He's not a wrestler. You got big guys that can wrestle, not him. You got big guys. You had Bam Bam Bigelow. You had Vader. You had Dr. Death Steve Williams. You had Terry Gordy. Plenty of big guys that could wrestle. He just wasn't one of them. And to act all high and mighty like, I don't want to associate with this company. You wouldn't even have, you wouldn't be the least bit relevant, which you're really not. The only relevancy you had was back when you were subjecting your body to permanent damage. Taking 12, by the way, those 12 chair shots from Dwayne at Survivor Series, now we see the long-term effects. I remember that match, watching it like it was yesterday, saying, this guy can't possibly come out of this normal. The way they showed in the documentary his wife crying in the front row and shielding her kids, I was almost doing that myself, just like watch every episode of Walking Dead. So you don't get me to turn away from a TV much. But I was watching that, and after the third one, I was like, somebody's got to stop this. I mean, you would have to believe he agreed to all this, but fucking no. And he hit him so hard so many times, he's a Democrat now. Judd, it wasn't good. It wasn't a match. It wasn't a wrestling match. All he did was let his body get brutalized. Show me one wrestling move in that match that he did. One. All he did was subject himself to bodily injury. He might hit a clothesline and maybe an elbow drop. That's about it. That a wrestler do not make. He's never been a wrestler. He's just been a glorified stuntman. Pimpineta Escalada, if I'm getting it even remotely close, Kenny. Thank you for that, though. But imagine that. We'll call it Pimpy. Imagine Pimpy going into the ring at Saudi Arabia in the Women's Rumble. Oh, my God. That would have made the show. Oh, the Grammys, Kenny. Good stuff there. I forget the host's name because he's also irrelevant. And majority of people probably wouldn't know who he is anyway. He's about to be smash lawsuited by Donald J. Trump, who's already said, I'm going to have so much fun with this guy. He will be destitute by the time he is done. You all got to learn to just shut the fuck up because you know nothing what you talk about. When you get your stats and your facts from CNN, and again, the smart people are waking up from that. The smart people are realizing it. And I don't even necessarily want to call Nicki Minaj, whatever her name is, smart. But I give her credit for seeing what should be seen. She had, let me see, I got something that she posted. Hold on. I can't get it on screen right now, but she posted this on Twitter from Nicki Minaj. What sensible, forward-thinking, cutting-edge leading nation is having a debate on whether or not there should be voter ID, all capitalized there. Like, they're actually fighting not to have people present ID while voting for your leaders. Do you get it? Do you get it now? How do you argue with that? The fact that one party doesn't want you to prove who you are to vote. Because they can't. They've lost everything. They've lost the black vote. They've lost the Spanish vote. They're losing the gay vote quickly. Hell, next time around, you might finally get New York back to where it was back with Giuliani and get some red in there. If they can survive the 4 years of the communist. Nikki also had a separate post. The LGBT has also started seeing through the veil and has them pissed off. Why are they getting the gay vote by default? They've moved on from the gay vote to flying in people to vote for them. No loyalty to anyone. The gay community should be able to choose every 4 years like everyone else after the Democrats campaigned to win your vote. Yeah, it's because they didn't campaign. They just literally slid somebody in the back door. They should not just get your vote. Wake up. And again, if I had told you 2 years ago that Nicki Minaj was going to post that, would you believe me? I wouldn't have believed me. Cornette's an absolute joke. He's such a fat sack of shit. And I haven't listened to him in over a year and a half. I've been done with him. I just couldn't. Again, you can have your political beliefs. More power to you. But what he referred to us as supporters, fuck you, dude. You're irrelevant as fuck. You were never any. You were a manager. Big deal. Big fucking deal. And a 2-time failed promoter. Now, Judd, it's all good. I'm just saying we're talking wrestlers. Mick Foley's just never going to be in that category. He's not a wrestler. He's never been. And I'm not saying it because of what he's done lately. I've always said it. He's not a wrestler. New Jack is not a wrestler. Was not a wrestler. Never wrestled. Hitting people with shit, jumping off balconies, throwing people off of scaffolds. You're not a wrestler. Although I got a funny feeling if you ask him, he would tell you he's not a wrestler. You call me whatever you want. But I don't think he would even consider himself a wrestler, if we're being honest. Judd, AJ versus Gunther, I thought was actually, I actually thought Survivor Series wasn't a bad show. I gave it a 7 out of 10. And I seem to be in the minority as I now listen to other people reviewing the show, and some of these WrestleManias and stuff like that are just trashing it as like the worst piece of shit ever. I didn't see it that way. I thought the women's Rumble was really good. It could have used a surprise, which it didn't have, which again, if you'd have brought that chick in there, Pimpy, that would have done it. That would have knocked them over for sure. You know, if it was in America, they'd have done that shit too. That's what pisses me off. And that's the other thing too. Bringing the shows over to Saudi Arabia now. And we talk about Punk. This is why he has zero credibility when he opens his fucking mouth. You're the guy that from AEW yelled over here saying, oh, you guys are going to go over to Saudi and take all that blood-soaked money. And then there you are doing it, having to apologize. Which you know he didn't mean that apology at all. Fucking piece of shit. Mean what you say and say what you mean. I thought the AJ Gunther match was good. Everyone that I'm listening to in these other channels saying, oh, there was no build, there was no build. How much of a build did you need for that? What was the point? And why did you have to drag that out for months? Asking for a friend. They want to have a match. They wanted to put a wager on it. The wager was his career. We knew that the contract was set to expire. Now, we've been there before, CM Punk. So, even if he loses, is he really gone? We don't know for sure. Is he going to lose or is he not going to lose? Not sure. That's a good match in my book. The fact that I thought it could go either way. I wasn't sold on Gunther winning. I thought it could end up in a DQ or a count out. That's what I thought. Or a doubled count out. That's really what I thought. I thought they were going to pull it through to Mania. So I wasn't really expecting AJ to lose. So that when he's in those sleeper holds at the end and he's fighting out of it, I'm believing he's not losing. That he's back in the sleeper hold again. And he fights out again. And I'm believing he's not losing tonight. Now, did they fuck up the ending with the one-time dropping of the arm? Yeah, that was stupid. I mean, it's Wrestling 101. You do the 3 times. I don't know why they couldn't have done that. It did kind of, It put a little squash on it right there. But other than that, the match itself I thought was really solid. I thought I don't like Sammy, generally speaking. I've never found him. I found him entertaining, and he is a great wrestler. I won't take that from him. I found him entertaining during the Bloodline. I think we all did. And he's had other moments. I can't think of him offhand, but he's had other moments where he's been quick-witted. But at this point in time, come on, man. We got to look in the mirror, and we all got to say someday that that's not my thing anymore. You know? I used to play hockey. Not my thing anymore, man. We don't get up the way we used to get up in the past. We get knocked down now and we might break something. You break a hip now and it's a death sentence, so you got to be a little bit aware of yourself. But all said, I thought it was a good match, and it was good in the sense that one there was no question who was going to win. So that was a lot of the people complaining about Triple H and the writing team and all that stuff. Dwayne is taking shots at him now. Who the hell else? Somebody else just recently took very public shots at Triple H's writing. Oh, Roman. Well, of course, because you're a part of the bloodline, tied to The Rock. You know, when you got the guy in the ivory tower there, you don't got to worry so much, right? They're definitely setting him up to take a fall. There's no two ways about it. And I went and I said this to you guys in the past. I'm not sure how much of these decisions are being made by Triple H versus Dwayne. Because if Dwayne's really not happy, wouldn't he be leaning on him? Wouldn't he be in his ear saying, hey, man, these ratings got to come up, man. The way we're telling stories right now is getting kind of predictable. It's getting kind of stale. You know, we need to push somebody like, I don't know, L.A. Knight maybe, because the fans are chanting his fucking name all the time. He gets bigger pops all the time. Instead of stepping on what the fans want, let's give them what they want. If that's not happening, we got one of two things. Either it is all Triple H fucking the pooch, although he did such a good job in NXT for how many years, so suddenly he lost his mojo. It happens. It could be. Or somebody's putting their thumb on the scale. That's what I said in the past. That's what I'll say again now. And the truth will come out. Here's the thing. I think Triple H takes the fall, and it won't entirely be his own fault. The good news is when he goes, everyone should go with him. If you get rid of him and it takes out Michael Hayes and I was going to say Tom Pritchard, no, Bruce Pritchard, and whoever else I'm forgetting to mention right now, if you take those old fossils the fuck out that are out of touch, that don't think Chelsea Green has a spot on top of the card, get them the fuck out because they're not listening. You put someone in there that is going to give LA Knight a shot, give Chelsea Green a shot. Now, all of a sudden, you have a much better product that we're all going to want to watch again because you've been feeding us the same names for 10 years, at least 10 years. And I think that plays a role in why AJ's leaving, to be honest with you, because he's done all he can do there. Now, the rumor running around, and God, I hope to God this does not happen. Lord, if you're listening right now, please do not allow AJ Styles to go to AEW. I really thought it would be a no-brainer that he would end up going to TNA to finish his career. It just makes sense. Yeah, there's some names from Japan and all that kind of shit that he could hook up with over in the AEW thing and run that back one more time, or maybe there's a one or two over there that he hasn't done yet. I just feel like the names won't be as big in TNA, but it's his legacy. And the same way he finished at Survivor Series 10 years after he began at Survivor Series with his WWE run, it just feels like his career has to end in TNA. And it still might. Let's say he goes to AEW and does a year. Because he's made it clear he is not wrestling at 50. So that doesn't give him a lot of time or a big contract. But I see him wrestling. Let's say he goes there and wrestles for a year and survives, which that's always a hit and miss thing, the way those monkeys dance. He could at least come back for his last match in TNA. But I'd much rather see him have a last run in TNA, personally. And I kind of feel like that's where his heart's going to be. But, again, people talk about, Tony's allegedly going to offer him more money than he's ever offered anyone to date. He doesn't need the money. He's been wrestling for the WWE at a high level as a world champion for over 10 years now. He has made good money. I'm sure he's a smart enough guy that, or he has people that are smart with his money for him. He's got money. He can walk away on his terms anytime he wants, and he doesn't have to worry about paying the bills. Would he have more money? Yeah. I always refer back to Kevin Nash when he was talking about his time in TNA with Dixie Carter. He's like, man, if you go to an ATM machine and it's shooting out $20 bills, you going to walk away or are you going to wait till the money stops going out? So maybe he's going to go get him some of that Tony money. I don't know. I mean, I would hope not personally, just because then I'm not going to get to watch him. There's nothing the TNA can do, or I take it back, AEW can do that would get me to watch their program. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Even if Tony, dropped dead tomorrow and some new person stepped in and with a decent reputation or whatever the case may be for booking, I'm just not watching AEW. To me, it should have been dead a long time ago. Yeah, Ken, I mean, I'm originally from New York. I just don't brag about it anymore. I used to. But I'm happy that my Islanders are having a decent year. It's been a long time, and I'm happy that it seems like they have a general manager that actually gives a fuck and that they're actually building for the future. And, they got some top talent right now starting, and they got this young kid now, Schaefer. Holy shit. So I've been wearing my Islander gear because it's been 24 fucking degrees here in Central Florida the last 2 days, and it's going to be that again tonight. I have video of me scraping ice off my windshield so I can take my dog to the vet at 8 a.m. Shit's real. This global warming is kicking my ass. Yeah, Jay, I get it. Jay's point of view is that, I've got to pay all these different subscriptions if I want to watch them. And there's other ways around that, yeah, and not everybody wants to do that. I get that. And the drawback to that, as somebody who has other ways of watching them, because I'm not paying for Netflix, I'm never going to pay for Netflix. I'm not paying for ESPN. I'm never going to pay for ESPN. Anything tied to Disney can go fuck itself. That all said, when you're charging people as much as you are, and that's not even talking about ticket prices to go watch any of this shit. I mean, every show they do now, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, outside of NXT, you're looking at minimum $600 seats. That's bare minimum. And anything in the first 2 to 3 rows is usually $700 to $800. Look it up on Ticketmaster if you don't believe me. I've done it. Regular shows. Not even pay-per-views. Not even part of the big four. And then you get to the pay-per-views. Where's Chris Jericho? They didn't advertise him, but, They may have let you believe it, which is almost as bad. Ken, you live in New York City. God bless you, brother. You'll be my point of contact then as I get my weekly updates on Comrade Zawani. I might have to have you join me on Amendment 1 when I bring that back up again. I think I'm going to end up doing that separate, though. I may have like an off channel just for that. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, as I said, the story was Ava. It was a few days ago. It wasn't worth my breath then. It's probably not worth my breath now, but the bitch had to say what she said, and just the way she said it. And it was worthy of me at least venting to whomever will hear this. And if anyone has a way of getting it to her, please do, since she's been kicked off of her Twitter handle, and I'm sure she's probably only going to be on that blue bullshit. I don't even know. What the hell's that thing called? Their version of Twitter where only the tie-dyes and the nose ring people ever communicate with one another, if you want to call that communication. Yeah, and Jay, I get it. It ain't all crap. And the thing I liked about the Rumble is you got Sol Ruca over big time. And you did bring in Powerhouse Royce. You had some new blood finally. You had Obafemi in there doing it. You're finally bringing in some new blood. I'm not a big Oba fan, as I've mentioned in the past, because he's got that whole Saba Simba thing going on. Can't he just come in as a badass? Like a Mark Henry, a Brock Lesnar. Why has he got to have those stupid jungle things hanging off his arms and shit? It's like, what day is it? Unless that was all his idea, which I don't see that being the case, but it could be. I don't know. To me, it's just a throwback in a bad way, Almost seems racist to me, to be honest with you. Now, I didn't notice the wall breakdown thing to reveal his name, which is, by the way, a horrible fucking name. Royce Keys. But that's not quite enough Jericho to pop the crowd. And again, the pop of the night went to Brie Bella. And not just the entrance. The whole time she was in the ring, that crowd was hot for her. Now, in their defense as a writing team, I wouldn't be pushing her unless she can show me that she can wrestle again, because the last time she made a little comeback, it was Ava level bad. It really was that bad. Like she thought she could just pick it up and go. It's like, did you practice for a few weeks leading into that? Or did you just say, I got this? Because it was, Alrighty. Well, I think that's everything I had to cover here on this episode of Wrestlechat. Thank you guys for joining me. My plan, I'm going to get a power napping because I've been up since 4 a.m. knowing I had to scrape ice off my windows to get my dog to an early vet appointment. So I only got 4 hours sleep. I'm going to try and get a couple hours in now. What I would like to do tonight around 6-ish, 6:30, is we have the Saturday Morning Superstars of the WWF in Japan right now, and we'll be coming to you live with Showdown from the Egg Dome. It's going to be a huge card, or should I say huge card. It's going to be the biggest card that you've ever seen, bigger than anything ever before. Huge. So that is the plan for tonight. It'll be first-time events, matchups that we've never seen on the Nation Network before, and seldom seen in real wrestling before. So hopefully y'all can be here for that. Yeah, I know he chose the name Royce because it was his son's name. I just, man. Powerhouse Royce. I'm good with that. That works. Why can't that work? I don't know. They don't ask me anymore. They used to ask me these things for my opinion, and they don't anymore is where we're at. So, all right. I got to get some sleep. I'm hoping to be back 6:30. If not today, it'll be tomorrow for sure, but I really want to do it today. I'm in the mood. I'm just too tired, and I know I'll never make it through the whole stream. I'll fall asleep doing it. I've done that before recently. I'll let you figure out which ones. When you see a long period of time when there's no dialogue, it's because I'm literally like, what's up? There's times where I'll start to stream because I'm feeling like I got this. I feel it. And then like 10 minutes in, I'm like, oh, hell, the batteries are just draining. So I don't want that to be the case with this card. I want to have some energy in me for this. So a cup of coffee in a couple hours, I think will be okay, but not in that order. Otherwise, it'll be all fucked up. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you later tonight.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle.
Bye-bye.